We let our intellectual selves overrule those passions.
I mean, life is just beginning. When I was 20, I thought, oh my gosh, life is over at 50.
If your name is Lauren Sanchez right now, you might be sweating a little. Word on the street is she's on edge, and people are whispering that she might be losing her cool. This is the same Lauren Sanchez who scored Jeff Bezos, jetted herself into space, and somehow kept the Kardashians off her yacht. Yes, that Lauren, but here's the new twist. Allegedly, there's a fresh name in the mix. Miss Sydney Sweeney. Reports from Yahoo Entertainment and others claim Lauren was caught off guard when Bezos poured money into Sydney's lingerie brand. And now, the internet's buzzing like crazy. Is Sydney about to be the newest Hollywood bombshell shaking up a billionaire love story? Let's keep it real. Should Lauren actually be panicking? Probably not. But hey, people always say, you get 'em how you get 'em. And that thought alone might have her side-eyeing every move. One thing's for sure, Lauren is not letting Sydney get too close to her $1 trillion prize. And here's the thing, sources claim Lauren's seen way worse. Because if you think Sydney's a problem, remember, this woman already survived the Kardashians. Now here's where the tea gets piping hot. Let's dive into the Kardashians, Sydney Sweeney, and what folks are calling Bezos' billionaire bra wars. Because apparently, Lauren Sanchez wasn't just caught off guard by Jeff throwing cash into Sydney's lingerie line. Oh no, from where she's sitting, this is starting to look like a bad case of deja vu. Here's the deal. Lauren's already been through this rodeo with the ultimate professional level man snatchers we all know as the Kardashians. And say what you want about them, but two things are always true. They can turn a tiny side hustle into a global empire, and they allegedly treat taking men like it's part of their business plan. Let's keep it real. You basically have to already be in a solid relationship before the Kardashians even consider you worth their time. Nothing personal, it's just how they recruit. And trust, Kim Kardashian spent years hovering around Bezos. She wasn't just looking for an invite to the table, she wanted that funding. In fact, Jeff even gave Kim her first and only Amazon Fashion Innovation Award, baby. Some say it wasn't about fashion at all. It was giving foreplay vibes. Kim wasn't just there for applause. She was hunting for Amazon's big bucks to pour into Skims. She wanted that next level billionaire investment. But according to whispers, she didn't get it. And don't forget about her little hedge fund move with Sky Investment Partners. Yeah, they downgraded Kim and gave Chris the boot again. Word on the street, Kim really thought that Bezos' cash was about to roll in, but instead, nothing. Now let me ask you, does anyone here honestly believe Kim would stop there? Because plenty of people say she wasn't only eyeing Amazon dollars, she would have gladly walked away with Jeff Bezos himself, an 80-carat ring on her finger, and bragging rights for life. This is the same woman who once called Pete Davidson the best dad while letting him teach North to drive a golf cart. And later, Pete checked himself into rehab, admitting he was high on Special K the entire time they were together. I'm guessing the golf cart lessons fall right into that timeline.
Happens though sometimes is that we let our intellectual selves overrule those passions. And so that's what needs to be guarded against.
No shade to Pete, but let's be honest, Jeff Bezos would have been a major upgrade. And let's not forget, rumor has it, Pete was the one who first introduced Kim to Bezos in the first place. From Lauren's point of view, she finally got Kim out of her space, secured the billionaire bag, and locked her man down. And just when she's starting to breathe easy, bam, in walks Sydney Sweeney. Some folks out here are calling her the Dollar Tree Kim Kardashian. Now, personally, I wouldn't go that far. Kim's claim to fame started with a tape with Ray J, while Sydney came up through Euphoria and actually has talent. Nobody can take that from her. But here's the kicker. Sources claim Sydney's been out here playing it extra friendly, cozying up with Prime Video deals, and then out of nowhere, Jeff Bezos drops an investment into her lingerie line. And just to twist the knife, guess who popped up at Lauren and Jeff's wedding? Yep, Sydney herself, looking like she just stepped out of a glossy campaign. She swears she didn't know them. But come on, Sydney, how do you not know your boss? And your boss just happens to be Jeff Bezos. Please, that little comment felt like a thinly veiled jab at Lauren Sanchez. Because honestly, she's the only one who seemed clueless about you. Be real, Sydney. If you truly didn't know Lauren, Then why were you clinking champagne glasses at her wedding while Bezos was literally bankrolling your lingerie line? At this stage, Lauren isn't just blindsided, she's probably reworking her whole defense strategy. Because let's be clear, if Lauren could keep Kim Kardashian off her yacht and out of her billionaire's orbit, she is not about to lose ground to Sydney Sweeney in a satin bodysuit. And don't get it twisted, Sydney isn't just another pretty face. She's Hollywood's golden girl right now, and that alone makes her a whole different kind of threat. Sydney Sweeney, Hollywood's favorite threat, whether real or imagined. People love to accuse her of playing the long game, and not because she's been caught in any messy scandals. Nope, there's never been confirmed cheating, no hard receipts, but there is a pattern that has folks talking. Her career strategy? Proximity. She slides just close enough to powerful men to spark whispers, then lets the internet do the heavy lifting. Remember Glenn Powell and that Anyone But You press tour? His long-term girlfriend vanished mid-campaign and pointed the finger straight at Sydney. Did she actually do anything? If you ask her team, absolutely not. But here's where she's dangerous. She doesn't even have to take your man. She just needs to be close enough to make people think she might. And now, she's in Jeff Bezos' orbit after a Prime Video project, and suddenly Bezos is allegedly putting his own money into her lingerie brand. Baby, that's a move guaranteed to set off alarms for any woman guarding her billionaire. Sounds cute on paper, but Lauren Sanchez was not amused. As Yahoo Entertainment put it, she was reportedly blindsided by Jeff Bezos' surprise investment in Sydney Sweeney's lingerie brand. And trust, there's tension brewing. Why? Because Sydney isn't just any actress. She's a brand risk. Her rep sticks to her like glue, and she's known for orbiting attached men. Lauren is not about to let her hard-earned billionaire slip away to some euphoria starlet, especially one draped in lace that her man is financing. And to really understand why this hits a nerve, you have to go back to the Kardashian history. The real threat Lauren's dealt with before. The Kardashians have built a reputation as professional-level man-snatchers. And that's not even shade, that's strategy. Kim Kardashian in particular has a very specific MO. She doesn't chase singles, she hunts upgrades. From Kanye to Reggie to Pete, it's always about stepping up the ladder. And let's be honest, if the stars had aligned, Kim would have absolutely added Jeff Bezos to her collection. Kim Kardashian spent years cozying up to Bezos, and it wasn't just for the photo ops. She wanted those Amazon dollars. Remember when he handed her the first and only Amazon Fashion Innovation Award? That wasn't a fashion moment, baby. That was straight up business foreplay. And when Kim pushed for him to back Skims, she wasn't just after another deal. She wanted that billionaire level boost. Now let's be real. If Bezos had written that check, does anyone think Kim would have stopped there? Exactly. From Lauren's seat, this whole Sydney Sweeney situation feels like deja vu, a repeat of the Kim saga. But here's the catch. Unlike Kim, Sydney isn't someone Lauren can befriend, manage, and quietly keep under control. Lauren barely finished fending off a Skims takeover, and now Bezos is already barking up Sydney's tree. Some people are calling it a sharp business move. But shrewd for who exactly? Bezos could have made that same argument for investing in Skims. And let's not forget, Skims didn't just need the money, half the world is already wearing it. That might be exactly what's sitting on Kim's mind. Oversaturation. The Skims buzz isn't hitting the same, and the campaigns are starting to feel stale. Some say Bezos could be looking at this strictly as a business move. Like, sure, Kim wanted him to invest in Skims, but he owns Amazon. Amazon sells endless Skims dupes. Maybe he's thinking, why not just launch my own Skims style line? I've already got the distribution, the infrastructure, and Skims is losing steam anyway. That would explain a lot, maybe. But if that's the case, why would Lauren be so blindsided? If these reports are true and she's as close to Bezos as everyone says, you'd think she'd know something about his moves. And if it really was a sound business play, wouldn't the last thing she feel be shock? It raises a bigger question. Why be blindsided by the very way your man makes his billions? Unless maybe it's not about the money at all. It really makes you wonder, right? But before we close this out, let's set the record straight. Sydney Sweeney is not stealing Jeff Bezos. Let's be serious. Lauren Sanchez has faced way bigger sharks. And like we've said before, she already survived the Kardashians.
I mean, life is just beginning. When I was 20, I thought, oh my gosh, life is over at 50.
But speaking of Kim, can we just pause and picture how furious she must be right now? She spent years working that Bezos angle, serving the glam, playing the networking game, sitting through awkward corporate dinners, pretending to care about Amazon logistics. And for what? For Jeff to skip right over her and hand the investment she wanted to Sydney Sweeney. And not just any Sydney Sweeney, a woman half her age, maybe a quarter as strategic, but with triple the raw talent. Actually, scratch that. 3,000% more talent. Baby, that has to sting. Don't get it twisted. Sydney's cute. But Kim? Kim must be in full meltdown mode watching all those years of work slip right into Lauren's inner circle. Because at the end of the day, Lauren's the one sipping coffee next to Jeff every morning. And that's a position Kim could only dream about. And baby, while Kim's stuck watching from the sidelines, let's be real, what did she actually walk away with after all those years of maneuvering? A CFDA award and a couple of carefully staged selfies with Jeff. Meanwhile, Lauren scored the real wins. A mega yacht, a rock that could blind you from across the room, one of the most expensive weddings of the decade, and Amazon stock options. As for Sydney, she got her lingerie investment, which is cute, but let's not pretend it's in the same league. That's why Lauren isn't sweating. If anything, she's smiling. Because right now, it looks like she's holding all the cards. And poor Kim, once again, it's Lauren strolling into the bank with a grin. When you zoom out, Kim's empire is still leaning hard on shapewear that doesn't have the hype it once did, while Jeff Bezos is putting fresh energy and cash into Sydney Sweeney's lingerie line. So yeah, Kim must be fuming. Bezos didn't just pass on Skims. He handed the younger, fresher, and let's be honest, far less high-maintenance version of Kim the exact deal she spent years chasing. And by cheaper, Sydney doesn't need an army of endorsements. She doesn't have 4 kids to juggle, and allegedly, she's way less calculating, but infinitely more talented. In fact, Sydney might not be Kim's success story. She's Kim's full-on Amazon dupe. And Lauren Sanchez? She's front row, glass of champagne in hand, watching the whole thing unfold like the finale of her favorite show. So where does this leave us? Time will tell. Right now, Lauren and Sydney are playing nice, just like Lauren and Kim pretended to years ago. But make no mistake, Lauren is defending her throne. Sure, some say she doesn't even have to lift a finger anymore. She can just wait for Kim and Sydney to burn themselves out. For now, she's sipping champagne, watching Bezos write checks to the wrong girls, while she holds the keys to the kingdom and the bank account that goes with it. But what do you think? Is this a brewing war or just Hollywood smoke and mirrors? Drop your thoughts below, because we're not done digging. And if you live for celebrity drama like this, hit that subscribe button to NoFilter. We're dropping the hottest celeb gossip videos every single day. Like, share, comment, and we'll spill the next cup of tea in the next one.